Hi, grade 6. This is the math video for lesson 3-1. Today's lesson is about something called integers and something else called absolute value. Integers are basically all of the positive, negative numbers and zero, but we're not talking about fractions here, and we're not talking about decimal numbers here. Behind me, I am showing you some, not all of the integers. The integers are the positive numbers, the negative numbers, and zero. But again, we're not counting numbers like, say, for example, 2.5. That's not an integer. 2 is an integer, 3 is an integer, but not 2.5. We're also not counting a number like 6.4. 6 is an integer, 7 is, but 6.4 is not considered an integer. The integers are the negative numbers, the positive numbers, and zero, but not the fractions and the decimals for now. Okay? Something to think about. How do you tell which number's bigger? If I put an x above -5 and I put an x above 2, and I say to you, which sign would go here? Is it better to write greater than, less than, or equals in this particular circumstance? Well, the rule about this is pretty simple. The number that is furthest to the right is the number that is bigger. So even though 2 seems smaller than 5, because we're not really talking about 5 here, we're talking about -5, 2 ends up being the bigger of the two. And so -5 is smaller than 2, or another way to say it, 2 is bigger than -5. Either one of these is a true statement based on what I got up there. Okay, let's erase these x's. Let's put an x out here and another x out here. -8, +5. 5, -8. What would be the correct sign to put here, and what would be the correct sign to put here? If you said this one, you're right. -8 is less than 5. -8 is smaller than 5. 5 is further to the right. And here, we'd use the greater than symbol. 5 is greater than -8 because 5 is, again, further to the right on the number line. The world of math also has something called absolute value. It's not a hard concept. It basically means this. How many steps away from zero is a particular number? Absolute value is the amount of steps away from zero a particular number is. And the way they show it is with these really strange vertical lines. So if I wrote the following on the board, I would read this in this fashion. The absolute value of -4. And if somebody said, figure out the answer to that, the only thing they want you to do is to figure out how many steps it would take you to get from here, -4, to here, 0. And the answer is 4. Now here's the bizarre thing about it. Some of you might be thinking that the absolute value of 4 has to be -4, but it's not. It's still 4. Doesn't matter. Remember the rule I said. The absolute value sign means how many steps away from 0 a particular number is. So if I'm right here and I want to get to 0, I got to take 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. If I'm here and I want to get to 0, how many steps do I have to take? 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. The absolute value of these two numbers is the same, +4. So what if I wrote the following? First of all, how would we read this? You should read it. The absolute value of -8, excuse me, said it wrong. The absolute value of 8 equals. Now, what is the answer to that? It's 8. What if I change it and make it the absolute value of -8? It's still 8. It's still 8 steps away. Okay. Let's try a math problem for this. What if I put the absolute value of -6 plus the absolute value of positive 2. And I said figure out the answer to that. It's not really that hard. All you got to do is say to yourself, I'm going to figure out what this is first. Then I'm going to figure out what this is. And then I'm going to do the adding. So this is 6. This is 2. The answer is 8. Done. Done. How do we read it? The absolute value of negative 6 plus the absolute value of 2 equals. And the answer is 8. Let's try another one. What if I wrote on the board the absolute value of positive 4 plus the absolute value of negative 20? The absolute value of positive 4 plus the absolute value of negative 20 equals. Well, this is 4. This is 20. The answer is 24. Hopefully this helps you. Bye.